Like most of my videos, this video doesn't really have a point except for the fact that I thought it was really funny. This story is about the most eventful airport experience I've ever had. I think my life is a sitcom. Alright, so I was in San Francisco for the day and I was flying back from San Francisco to LA. So my car comes and picks me up and he says, "Where are you headed?" And I said, "The airport." My car comes 4:30. The airport was about 20 minutes away, so I would get there in time for the 6:30 flight. I'm on my phone making some calls in the car and I look at the clock and it's really late, like 5:30 already, which means I was in the car for about an hour. And I was like, shit, I'm gonna miss my flight. So I talked to the driver and I'm like, "Hey, how far are we away from the airport?" And he said, about 45 minutes. And I was like, what? Like, how? Because this was supposed to be like a 20-30 minute trip tops. I've already been in the car for almost an hour and now I have 45 minutes on top of that. So I start freaking out. I start texting the people who booked the flight. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Good words, Gab. And the people who booked the flight were so confused. They were like, that doesn't make any sense. We're so sorry. Let's try to figure it out. So I expressed to the driver how important it is that I do not miss this flight. And we pull up to the airport at around 6:05. Flight departs at 6:30, which means the gate closes at 6:20, which means I need to get in there, check in, get through security, and get to my gate 10 minutes ago. The driver pulls up to the airport. I literally have my hand on the handle and then I pretty much duck and roll out of there. Thank God the person who booked my flight was able to check me in, so I'm just going through security. I breathe this huge breath of relief, happily skipping through security, and I'm like, wow, I made it. Laughing, giggling with the security guards. All the TSA agents are commenting on my lightsaber. Right, my lightsaber. And then he scans my boarding pass and, much to my surprise and dismay, he said, "You're at the wrong airport. You're supposed to be flying out of San Francisco." And I was like, "Where am I?" And he said, "Oakland." What? You mean for some ungodly reason this driver picked me up in San Francisco? I told him I need to go to the airport and he in his mind calculated that as the airport in Oakland? So I look at the time and my flight is leaving in 5 minutes. There's obviously no way that I'm gonna get there. They apologized for the mix-up and they were like, "We're gonna look for a flight for you out of Oakland right now." So they find one flight that departs at 7 o'clock. This is the last flight of the night out of Oakland. Right now it's 6:30, so I have to make it. It doesn't take long to book a flight, so I'm not really worried about it. I just sit down, I'm charging my phone, and the minutes just keep ticking by. 10 minutes pass, it's getting closer and closer to boarding time. I still haven't heard anything. Now I'm in the exact same position where I only have a few minutes left to check in, print my boarding pass, go through security, get to my gate in time. I'm sitting for like a half an hour and I'm like, this is the last flight. I have to get on this flight. Please don't leave me in Oakland, please. Freaking out. Finally, I get a text that says, "We got you the flight, go." They booked the flight with minutes to spare, so I am excited. This is amazing. I'm gonna get home tonight and I just know in my heart of hearts that I can make this. It is 6:46 p.m. The flight departs at 7:01 p.m. and for those of you that don't know, the gates close 10 minutes before departure, so I know that I have 5 minutes to get to this flight. I run to the check-in desk and I say, "Please check me in," and he said, "Yes, of course." And then as he's checking me in, he goes, "You're on the 7:01 flight?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "They have stopped boarding." And my heart dropped and I said, "But it is 6:46. Doesn't the gate close 10 minutes prior to departure, which means that the gate should close at 6:51 p.m.? And he said, "Generally that's the rule, but they don't let us check in people after a certain time because we don't want people running." And I am taken by an overwhelming feeling of disappointment and sorrow, and I start crying real human tears because I've been on an emotional roller coaster. First, I'm not gonna make the flight, and then I do make the flight, but I'm at the wrong airport, and then they're gonna book me a flight, but they can't quite get it in time, and then they do get it in time, but they don't let me through the gate. Come on, is this a good day or a bad day? Just let me know. I sit in the corner. After a few minutes of stifling tears, the guy goes, "Hey miss, come get your boarding pass." And I'm like, why didn't you tell me that 3.5 minutes ago? So I run to security, I rip my shoes off because here in America we see shoes as a threat. I throw them on the little conveyor belt. I rip my laptop out of my backpack because here in America we see laptops as a threat, and I put it on the conveyor belt and she says, "Honey, you know you better put that in a bin." And I said, "I'm really sorry. I only have about 3 minutes left to get through to this gate." And she said, "Rules is rules, honey." And then she grabbed my backpack and with deliberate slowness, she starts very slowly zipping my backpack up. I'm just staring at her like, please, please let me in. Then they send my backpack through the conveyor belt and they have to take it out and they have to go through my bag by hand because they don't recognize my stormtrooper helmet on the x-ray. They take it out, they have a good laugh, they put it back in, and they send my backpack through the conveyor belt again. So my backpack is going through the scanner, and my backpack gets stuck in the scanner because of course it did. So I literally fall to my knees and I'm like, please. Stormtroopers like me get killed in Oakland. And the TSA agent on the other side of security laughs and he goes, I knew you were animated, but I didn't think you would be this crazy in person. And I said, have you seen my stuff? And he said, yeah, I'm a huge fan. And I said, thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm not normally this crazy, but my flight leaves in 2 minutes. And as I'm leaving, he said, real quick, can I get a picture? Which only would have taken about 10 seconds, but I spent 30 seconds staring at him in disbelief. I asked him where my gate is, and he said, that's gate 15. That's on the other end of the airport. Again, because of course it is. And I start into a dead sprint. 1 minute left. So I'm dead sprinting like I've never done in my life with my lightsaber, and I'm like, I am not in good shape. And then I hear an announcement, flight 1238. This is your last call for boarding. I almost had a seizure and I ran faster than I could ever run in my entire life. People are staring, the door is closing, 10 seconds left. But miraculously, I made it to my gate, and you would think that I just ran a full-fledged marathon. I'm dripping sweat. I'm hyperventilating because I can't breathe. I'm so out of breath, and I collapse onto the front desk. I don't run. I'm not in good shape. He's laughing at me. He lets me through the gate. I limp all the way down to the plane, and the guy at the door goes, save the best for last. I barrel onto the plane. Everybody looks at me, and I make my way through, sweating, heaving, armed. I just avoid eye contact like my life depended on it, put my lightsaber in the overhead bin, and had a safe flight home. That's all there was to that story. Again, had no point. I just wanted to tell it. This week's showstopper is fan trash. They sent me a really nice package of UK candy to my P.O. box. They're always one of the first people to comment on my YouTube videos, which means they have my notifications turned on, and they're all around just very supportive, so I love you very much. Thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to check out my social media listed on my end card. As always, I love you very much, and I'll see you next time.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now,